Yes, great and welcome. I'm sure, I hope you're all doing well, and I'm sure you guys are aware of the COVID-19 pandemic, and with that, we need to go online. So today's lesson, we would be starting Java right from the configuration level to onto fidelities. Okay, to fidelities. So first, let's get started. For you to be able to run any Java program on your machine, you need what we call the JVM, which is the Java Virtual Machine. That's what you need. And to get that, you need the JDK, that is the Java Development Kit. Okay, that's what you need. So how do you get it? I mean, get your browser, make sure you have an internet connection, go online and download the JDK. Now after downloading, then you go to the location where it downloaded to, and then run the installation, the JDK installation. Now after downloading, now you need to check your local disk. Okay, check your local disk, as in the local disk C. Now when you check the local disk C, and then the version of the JDK. Okay, if the version is either 64 or 32 bits. Okay, so mine is 32 bits, so I have to use the 86 folder. So I'll just have to double click on it, and then we have Java. This is Java. This one here is Java. Now when I see this, then it means I'm good, I'm having Java. And then next thing that I need to do is the Java keyword, and then the Java C, which is the Java compile keyword. I need to configure it so that my system will therefore recognize these two keywords, that is Java and Java C. So what I need to do here is one, just double click the Java folder, JDK, and then the bin. So this is where we can see these two, that is the Java and then the Java C or Java compile. Now you move on to the address bar, you click, and then you copy the path. So you right click on the highlighted path, and then you click on copy in order to copy that. Now after copying, the next thing that you need to do is now you need to visit your environment variable by using this PC. Okay, and then you right click on it, and then properties. From properties, advanced system settings. From advanced system settings, then you have the environment variable. From there you click new in the system variable, so new, and then you type the word path. Okay, path, this is what you type, and then you paste for the variable value. You paste the path. Okay, after pasting the path, next thing that you need to do is you click on OK. After clicking on OK, what happens is that you see the path in here like that. Okay, that's the path here. It means you are good to go. I mean, that side is also okay now. Then the next thing that you need to do is you kind of like visit the command prompt. There's the command prompt. You type cmd. Now after cmd, you click on this very one, and then what happened here is you type Java and then version and then enter. The moment you see this, you are good to go. The moment you see this, it means everything is okay for the Java. And then the next thing is the Java C, that's the next keyword, and then enter. And then when you see this, also it tells you that yes, now the system recognizes these two. So it means you can create your first program using your machine. You can do that. Okay, you can create your first program using your machine. And to do that, you see, after this configuration, you need what? An ID. You need an ID. So with the ID, we have the graphical ones like the NetBeans, we have the Eclipse and so on. There are many out there. When you go online, I'm sure you can see all these stuff there. Okay, so what I'll be doing here is I'm not going to use the graphical ones. I'm just going to use the notepad and then the command prompt for the basics, so that you can understand the detailed structure of Java. Okay, so that's why I prefer using that. Later, when you become your boss, I mean, you think you are now proficient, you can therefore start using your graphical IDs. Okay, so first of all, you need to get a notepad. You open your notepad, and then the notepad, I already have this file opened. This is public class. You need public class, and then this is JDemo. So that's my class name. The class keyword is used for the class definition, and this is the name for the class as in the identifier. And then you have the curly brace here. That's the code block. This is where everything goes. And then also we have this main method here. That is the public static void main. That's the main method. Public static void main. That's the main method. Okay, this is the signature for it. In fact, if you don't type this in full, public static void main is actually a method, but if you don't type this in full, then that is not a main method. That is just a normal method. Now let me add this to it, but please, well, this is just an array declaration. Okay, array declaration, and it can use any name, not necessarily what is here, but any name will be recognized. Okay, so that is it. And then we need to save our file now. This is already typed, so we need to save our file now. So I'm going to save mine to the desktop. I mean, let me, so that to make things simple, and that's the desktop. And I'm going to use the JDemo. Now the reason why I'm using the JDemo is because of the public here. Anytime the class is defined public, it means the class name and then the file name must be the same. The file name and then the class name must be the same. But in order not to conflict, and I want you to understand the compilation of the source code and then also running of the bytecode, which is the class file, I'm going to take off the public. So I'm just going to save this. This is JDemo. I'm going to save this called JD. Okay, JD. So yes, that's the difference. So my file is called JD. So the name JD dots. Then don't forget the extension Java, and then from there you move on to all types. This all types, and then jd.java all types. Then let me create a folder on the desktop so that it makes things well organized. And then I'm just going to do Java here, and I'll add D to it. That's my folder name. So let me open it, and then I have my file JD, which contains the JDemo class in it. So don't forget, file name Java, file name is the jd.java. Don't forget the extension, and then the save as type is also all types. And then you choose your location up here, and then you click on save. Now the moment I click on save, because I'm using JDemo and JD, then I have to take this public off. Okay, other than that, I have issues, and then I'll click on save. Any changes that you do before running or compiling, you need to click on what? Save. Now when I do that, save, and then the next thing is that yes, my class is defined with a main method, and I'm good. So therefore, I'm sure I have this. So now let's compile it, okay, and let's see what we get. So let's use the CMD. So this is the CMD. So this is now our interface where our program is going to run. So this is just a console application that we are building. I mean, this console. So the next thing that you need to do is, now before I can run this, I have to change my directory, which is the location or the root from this very folder to where I have this. And as you can see the path here, we need desktop and then also the Java D. So therefore what I need to type is cd space desk, okay, desktop, and then slash, and then I will have to type in Java D. Okay, Java D, and then enter. So now I'm in my folder now. Then if you're in your folder, this is a source code, okay, that is saved inside that very folder. So let's check the folder first before I compile. So this is the folder. Now this is the file I saved. You see, it's only one file, okay, that is the source code, and that file is what? The Java file. This very file is the Java file, okay, that is what is in. So therefore, let me go back to that. So I'm going to compile. Now with a compilation, I expect to see another file created here that contains this name, that is the JDemo name, that is the class name, okay, that's what I expect to see. So therefore what I need to do here is type in Java C, and that is the compilation, that's in Java compile space, then the file name, please, it's very important, is the file name, not the class name, file name. So my file is called JD, so I'd have to type JD, okay, JD, and it's a capital J, okay, so J and then D, okay, dot Java, don't forget that, dot Java, and then enter. So if you have any errors will pop up, but it's telling me everything is okay, I don't have any error, it returns me my path again, so it means that I'm okay. So now we are expecting to see a class file. You see there is a file created. This is what we call the byte code. This is what runs on the JVM. So now if I have this now, I can therefore run it, okay. Now when I move this time around, I'm not running, or I'm not using the class file. What I need, I'm not using the source code, I need the class file, okay. So therefore I have to use the class name, and the class name is JDemo. This is JDemo, okay, without any extension .java or something. First the compilation uses the file name, that is the jd.java, and then also coming down and S using the class or the byte code or the class file, which is this one here, and you can see it says class file. Now running it, now when I run mine, just hit enter here, okay, and let's see what happens. It's kind of running with the JVM. It's taking my time. Okay, hello. Let me type again, JV and then JDemo. But the point is, okay, yes, it's not in now. Okay, it's saying nothing because the program is saying nothing. Okay, this is the structure, the basic structure. When you have this, is intact. There is no way you can work with it without a main method, because it is inside the main method that everything runs. Now let's check something. I'm going to print out. Printing out, I need system .out .print line. This is very crucial. Using the print line is like printing or writing, like for example Microsoft Word. If you are writing in a line, actually a straight line like that, this is how the print line also acts like. It's like you typing in a straight line. Okay, so I'm just going to type hello Richard. Okay, hello Richard. Okay, it's a name. So hello Richard, and I'm saying hello Richard. Okay, so now every statement you write, this is a statement I've written here, so you have to end it with a full stop, okay, like a sentence. So here the full stop is like semicolon. Don't forget about that. Any statement you type in your Java, I mean, you need to kind of like end it with this. So this one here is what? The out print. I mean, if you want to output or display a message, then we use this. This is to the console, so we are doing console. If you are doing graphics, we don't need this. We don't need this. Okay, we don't need this line here, the system.out.print line. But because it's a console, we need to print it. So we need a command that will actually print to the console. So after doing this now, then I have to save. Anything you do, you save. Then again, you type your but let me clear the screen. This command here clears the screen. So anything that you do, you need you need the compilation. So this is the compile. You type Java and then jd.java. That is the file name, and then enter, then it compiles. And when it compiles, the next thing here also is you go for Java. That's the class file. That is this one here. So we are running it now. When I hit enter, I should see hello Richard. Yes, very good. So this is hello Richard, and that's what this is telling me. Hello Richard, hello Richard, hello Richard, right? That's it. So now it means that voila, we've created our first program. I mean, when you're able to do this now, you can confidently say you are a programmer now. Okay, you are a programmer now. At least you can write a simple program and then print out. But there are more to it. Okay, so we have a program created. That is the hello Richard. That is the hello Richard. Now after typing this one here, now let me add the public and see what happens. Okay, so this is the public that I'm adding, and then see what happens. You see, now I'm using the public, but there are rules to it. Using the public, there are rules. Okay, let's see what happens first before I move on. So this is compile, you compile, and then it's telling me something. It says that class JDemo is public, should be declared in a file name. Okay, so it means the moment you make your class public, then the class name and then the file name must really have the same name. So I'm going to change this to JD. Okay, so this is JD now, this is also JD now. So now I can save it now. They all have the same name now. Okay, so saving, and then now let's compile and see what happens. So therefore I expect no error now. Yes, very good. And then when I run my code, everything is perfect, and that is what hello Richard. Yes, so we have various ways of printing. Now for some reason you don't want to have, let's say, a line printer. You see, because if I kind of like repeat this now, because of the print line, I'll have the next printing down. Okay, I'll have my next printing down. So compile and then run. Okay, and I should have two names. Oh, okay. This time I'm not, sorry, that's the mistake I did. I'm not running JDemo. I need to run JD, because now the class name here is no more JDemo, it's JD. So I need to run JD now. That's the class name. So you see, it's the same because of the public. Okay, so note that it's noted. Okay, and then now it's giving me hello Richard, hello Alex, hello Richard, hello Alex. Okay, so I'm doing this. But if I want to have the name joined the hello Alex joining the hello Richard, I mean, there's no need of using the print line. You just have to use this. That's the print, just the print. Okay, so using print, now anything that I kind of like print out is just going to append. Okay, it's just going to join the line. So let's compile and see what happens here. Okay, so I have to compile and then JD. Now you can see the difference here. Check. Okay, check. That's the difference. With the difference here, see, now before I use the print line, so let's kind of like break the line and then start from the second line. But because the first printing or the first output is using print, not print line, okay, it means it's not really looking at a break as in first line, second line. So it's like the same line we can also print write in. So that's the difference between the print and then the print line. And then we have another one called print F. The F then means format. Print F. The F then means format. Now we assume that it takes 3 parameters. So let me add the F to this. That's the print format. And then also maybe okay. So this is like I'm going to write a short text in here, as in my first name. Sorry. My full name. Yes. We don't know your full name. My full name. My full name S, then we don't know. So what we need to do is there's this wildcards or characters that we need to use. That is the %s, and then also there's another one also %s. Now the reason I'm doing %s is that the first one goes for the first name, and then the second %s will go for the last name. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to type it in a double quote. That's a string value because there's a test. Okay, so it's a test, a raw test like that. So I just have to type and put it in a what? In a single quote, a double quotes. So I'll type in my name, that is Richard, okay, comma, and then my last name, Andoh. So my full name is Richard Andoh. Now we expect not to see this or that. All what we need to see is my full name is Richard Andoh. Okay, so let's save and then see what happens. So therefore, when you do that, I need to clear my screen. Okay, so first you compile. File name is what? JD. So that's it, compiled. And then second of all is still JD. Okay, but this time around that is the runtime, so I need just JD, okay, but not compile. Okay, so just JD, and then it says my full name is Richard Andoh. You see, we are not seeing what this. And in terms of dealing with figures, numbers, okay, all what you need to do is we can type I am %d, okay, and %d years old, okay, years old. So we don't know, so it means that we need to go for another parameter. Okay, we need to input by separating it with comma, and this time around it's an integer. We don't need any double quote because we are using D. This is for the strings. When you say strings, strings are kind of like referring to, let me say, the characters. Okay, all characters, sequence of characters that is kind of like grouped together. In other sense, we have something called literals, that is the characters in sequence, that is a literal. But when you talk of strings, strings is also looking at the characters. Okay, it's also looking at the characters like this, which is not, it's more of like generic. Okay, a generic character, let me put it that way. Generic, it can be numbers, it can be alphanumerics. Okay, it can be any, the punctuation marks and all those things with a double quote around it, then it means you have a string. Okay, you have a string. So it's like a generic format for all data types. Generic format for all data types. So therefore, because this is an integer, the D represent the integer, I'm just going to type in raw like that without any. So save and then compile and then run. Very good. So as you can see, it says my full name is Richard Andoh. I am 12 years old. Okay, so if you want to go with this format, you want to go with this format, that is print format, yes, it's okay. Now we have another character that we can also use. You see, for some reason you want to kind of like, you don't want to write everything on one line, okay, just like the print line and the print. Maybe you want to come down stuff. So this one says my full name is Richard Andoh. Okay, so what I need to do is I want to end it with a full stop, okay, and then break down, okay, break down. And breaking down as a new line, I have to use the \n, okay, and then also save. Now let's see what happens when I use it. Okay, so you see, so my full name is Richard Andoh, and then the \n is breaking the line. So it says start a new line. So this is a new line that we are starting. It says I am 12 years old. Okay, and then you can indent it by using what we call tab. So the same / and then T. Okay, and then also let me use another one again. So I can use this is like an indent in Word. So I'm having double T character. So save again and see what happens. You can use 1 or 2 or more. It depends on how distance you want to have your text from the edge. Okay, so still same compile from compilation to the runtime. Okay, so as you can see, the T, this is the magic for the T, is indented. That's the magic. Okay, so if you want to have more breaks, that's what you do. So I'm repeating this for more breaks. So save, and then also compile and then run. So you see the break. See, it's having this line spacing here. Stop. Okay, so that is for the printf. So these are the various printing styles. So we have what we call the print line, the print itself, and then the print format. Whereas in the print format takes a number of parameters where the text or the statement goes in the first parameter, separated by comma, and then you put in any number of arguments that you want to put in depending on the number of times you have the %x and the %d, either for strings or integer value So therefore that is about that on the print. Okay, so actually I'm focusing on a 30-minute video. I don't want to go beyond to make the course boring or something, so the little that you practice is also okay. So this is about printing, and let's also try, because it's not 30 minutes yet, let me try variables. Okay, let me talk about variables and we move on. Now looking at this one here, this is also a variable. Now before you can use any variables, you need to declare. But let's look at what a variable is. When we say variable, you'll be hearing it in English or math. Okay, when you say variable means something that varies, something that changes, something that is not constant. It's not always in, it's not fixed, it's having this change feature, whereas in values or whatever content in the changes. That is what variable. Okay, and here therefore in computing and with programming languages, they make use of that change. But before you can actually implement the change feature, okay, you need a space. You see, we are dealing with memory. The spaces in the computer system is what we are manipulating. So what we need here is we have to reserve it. We have to let the computer know that we want to use a certain space with a name and a particular type of data that is supposed to be stored, a particular data. So that's how come, in short, a computer will basically look at a variable being a container or being a space reserved to store changeable data. Okay, so first of all, before you can do that, you have to inform the computer by declaring. So we have to declare before we assign, and we can print. So what do? Let's try and then declare. And how do we declare? The syntax is short. Anytime you want to use or declare a variable, you have to specify the data type. So my data type here is int. Okay, first of all, let me deal with strings first. So I'm going to define my data type for a variable that is called string, and I'm going to call my variable first name. That's my variable first name. Then you end it with a semicolon. Okay, so string, this is the data type, and then this is the reference name to my space. Okay, my variable. So now it's like I'm reserving a space in the computer that will be called first name. That will be called first name, and what goes into the first name has to be string type. Has to be string type. So this is a string. This first name variable must contain strings. Okay, so this is the declaration. Now how do we assign? We call it initialize. You are assigning value, or you are putting in value to the first name. So to do that, you have a first name here. Okay, so first name, then we use what? The equal to sign. In computer, I keep on saying, seeing this thing is not an equal to sign. Computer, this is not equal. In computer, this is called the assignment. And what we are doing is we are assigning a value. Okay, we are assigning a value. So my first name is Richard. Okay, so Richard, that's the first name, and it's a statement, so full stop. Okay, that's a semicolon. Okay, so therefore it's being declared, and I'm assigning a data value to it that is of a string type to this. Okay, if I change it and it's not string, I'll have error because my first name is of the type string, and what goes in has to be what? String. So this is what is going in. Okay, so now I have to print it out. So I'm supposed to see Richard there. So let me clear this off. Okay, so it's declared, it's having what? Richard. And then also I can print it out, Richard. So first name. Okay, so this is the first name variable, so that's what I'm printing. It's not a string, so you don't have to put it in a double quote. If it is a string, you put it in a double quote. Okay, so I'm printing the value Richard, that is assigned to it. So that is what I'm supposed to see in my compilation. Okay, so compile, no error, and then also run. Then it's telling me Richard, that is the name in it. When I change the name, anytime I change the name, okay, anytime I change the name, okay, I'm going to see that name printed. Now when you change, you save, and then also you compile. Okay, so I'm going to compile and then run. Okay, so Alex is also showing. Okay, so that's how variable works. Variables are a piece of space in your computer system reserved to basically contain the data, and then you can print out as and when you need it. That is a variable, the declaration of a variable. So my 30 minutes is up, and I will end this video. But before I end it, what I want you to understand is that Java, everything runs in this main method. When I move out, okay, like this, and then I bring it here like that, now I have a problem with this because the computer will understand this and understand it, because this is in this particular environment, the main method is where everything is running. So anything I want to execute has to be in this main method, so this one here will basically see that, but I'm going to have a problem with this. Okay, so let's check and then compile. You see the problem. Okay, so it's telling me that identify expected. It's because this code is not supposed to be here, it's supposed to be in here. Okay, that's why I'm having that error. So anything you want to execute, please kindly make sure you have it in the main method. And there will be no problem. problem. So after that you save and you compile and then you run. Alex, okay, so my 30 minutes is up, and thank you very much for listening, and stay tuned for the next video.